So my name is Caleb. I work at the International Office of the Rectorate. I am from the United States, so like you, I'm also living in a foreign country, and I just want to check, how many of you are living in a foreign country for the first time coming here? Let me see. Oh boy. Just a few of you. Actually, according to the survey, it's over 75%. So my next question is, do you think you're ready? I have some bad news for you. You're not ready, but that's okay, because no one is. And I'm here to give you some culture shock preparation. Now, everyone thinks that they're not going to experience culture shock. They think that this isn't going to be a problem. That's okay, because there are three things that I'm going to tell you about culture shock preparation that we misunderstand. Now first, I think it's important that you know I didn't just read some articles about this or watch some YouTube videos. Over the last 15 years, I've lived in 10 countries in Europe, Africa, and Asia, and I'm going to tell you what I learned, and what I learned the hard way. These are things that I found to be true every single time I go to a new country, all right? The first thing that we don't understand about culture shock preparation is culture. What is your definition of culture? Now, I would love to put you in small groups and have you discuss it, but we don't have time. So, I'm going to guess that when you think of the word culture, think of, I don't know, maybe the traditional clothing, could be dances, some new, exciting, exotic food, specific architecture, festivals, maybe language. Is any of that shocking? Not really, right? It looks quite nice. This is why we travel. This is cool stuff. So what's the big deal with culture shock? Well, most people think that they're not going to experience culture shock because our definition of culture is so basic and quite pleasant. Well, in fact, it goes much, much deeper than that. Let me give you a list of questions that everyone in this room will answer a little bit differently because we come from different cultures. Questions like, who can be your friend? How much time should friends spend together? What is friendship? How close can you stand to someone before they start to get a little bit uncomfortable? That's too close. Should you wait for someone to stop talking before you start talking? What is food and what isn't food? And what is the right time to eat it? What is polite behavior? What is rude behavior? What is your responsibility in life, or in your community, or in your family? What is family? What does it mean to be on time? What does it mean to spend time well? What does it mean to be happy? Why are you here? What is truth? Maybe you're starting to understand what a serious issue it is to step into a different culture that has a different perspective on all of these questions and many, many more. Let me put it to you this way. Did you ever look at someone and think to yourself, why can't he just be normal? Well, normal is cultural. Everything in the right context is normal. Out of context, in a different cultural context, suddenly it's not normal. What do you want this poor clown to do? So here's the best definition I've ever heard of culture. Culture is everything that tells you what is normal. Everything. And now you're in a new culture, where every signal and message and interaction is coming to you from a different definition of normal. It's trying to get you to understand something that is different, but you just don't know why. Maybe the message is that you're behaving weird. You're not normal, and you don't really know why. And that can be shocking. But that's the second thing that we don't understand about culture shock. What do we mean by shock? This is another reason why most people think that they never experience culture shock, because they're waiting for a shock. You're like, oh my God, here you have dinner at 10 p.m.? I'm shocked. Shocked, I say. Now, you might have a few moments like this. You might not. Is anyone going to be here for Christmas in Prague? Are you staying? Okay. Ask Czechs about their Christmas traditions. You might get a nice little shock about that. You'll see. I see a lot of confused looks. You'll see. But these moments don't really matter. You're surprised, you move on, it's a nice story to tell your friends back home, life goes on. The problem is, we shouldn't be talking about shock. We should be talking about fatigue. Does everyone know the word fatigue? Especially the English speakers and for the French speakers, this will be easy. It means very tired, exhausted, frustrated, fed up. My advice to you is forget about culture shock. Get ready for culture fatigue, because this happens to everyone. It happens in different ways. There are different symptoms. But every time I go to a new country, or if I go back to a country I know, I've changed countries 18 times in my life, I experience culture fatigue every single time. Because the fact is, sometimes your brain just gets full. Now, not only are you in a new culture where you're getting messages that your behavior is a little bit strange, but you don't know why, and their behavior is a little bit strange, but you can't quite put your finger on it. On top of that, you have to figure out where to buy bread. Like, what kind of bread? Maybe the kind of bread you like doesn't exist here. You have to figure out how to get to school, how the transportation system works. You have to figure out where to put your dirty socks so your roommate isn't annoyed. You're meeting new people, you're trying new things, you're going new places, you're getting to know a new academic system. You have to learn how to send a postcard, for crying out loud. My point is that everything that was normal at home, that you never had to think about, here it's new. Here you have to relearn it. Here you have to think about everything. And that's exhausting. That's fatiguing. You know, we really get tired. I get tired of all the differentness. You know, why can't everyone just be normal? Why can't things work in a normal way? And that's the culture fatigue talking. You know, right now, do you see where you are? See that dotted line? You're at the very beginning after that dotted line. You're in the honeymoon phase when everything is new and wonderful and bright and shiny. And in a few weeks, maybe a month, you'll find out that some of those new things are difficult and challenging. For all of you here, that will happen at the same time that the weather is getting darker and colder, and you're getting tired, you're getting irritable, and then suddenly you're here. You're in the plunge. And there will be a day, suddenly, when you wonder what the hell you're doing here. By the way, have you seen this chart before? Did your university show you this before you came? Some of you? I see half and half. Okay. Memorize this. Because this is what everyone goes through. A little bit more or a little bit less, but I have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of international students. This is the experience of adjusting to a new country. Right? And I tell you that so that when you're here at the plunge, wondering if you've made a horrible mistake coming here, you remember that it gets better. And it's worth it. You already know this, but I want to remind you, before some of you are ready to run home right now, I want to remind you that everything that is valuable, everything that is meaningful, that can have a positive impact on your life, is a challenge. All right? Otherwise, everyone would do it. But you're not everyone. You came here for something new, for something exciting, and I believe that you're ready for the challenges that come with that. So I want you to remember, you are the brave ones that left your homes, left everything that's familiar to you, because you know it's worth it. And it is. I didn't go through 10 countries because it's too exhausting and it's not worth it. I did it because it's awesome. Right? But there will be difficult times. I want to tell you, my previous job was working for a website that hosts study abroad reviews. So I've probably read like 10,000 reviews of students talking about their study abroad experience. I saw eyebrows go up there. It's exhausting for me too. Do you know what is the most common title of those reviews? Overwhelming majority say things like life-changing, the experience of a lifetime, best decision I ever made. And I have to tell you, if I have to read any more of these reviews, I might throw up because it's just too sweet. The point is that there is a very high probability that this experience is going to change your life in a very positive way. But there will be challenges, there will be some dark days, and there will be some cultural fatigue. So how do we make sure that that does not stop you from having the best time of your life? Well, there is a lot to say, a lot, but I'm going to give you 4 quick tips. First of all, remember that you're going through a lot, okay? You have a lot of stress, your brain is trying to understand everything that's going around that's strange. Your brain gets tired. So give yourself a break sometimes. Make sure you sleep enough. I know you're young and you like to party, that's fine. But if you feel like you're more exhausted all the time than you should be, take a nap from time to time. Naps are awesome. No, it's completely normal that you're going to be more tired than usual. It's not because you're in depression, it's not because you're sick, it's because your brain is working overtime. So make sure you have time to sleep enough. It will help. Take some walks by yourself and keep a journal. This will help you really process what you're experiencing and focus on the positive things. Talk to other international students about what you're going through. Now, I don't mean get together and complain about how weird the Czechs are, okay? That's not helpful. But it's useful to know that other people are being challenged by the same things. The key is to find a balance. You know, you do want to push yourself to go out and meet new people, try new things, make the most of this experience because it will pass so quickly. At the same time, sometimes you need some time for yourself, sometimes you need to just be quiet, sometimes you need to go for a walk. It's like training to run a marathon. You know, you want to push yourself, you want to get stronger and stronger every day, but you still have to respect your limits and take time to rest. This is the key. Keep looking for that balance. Finally, if things really are getting dark, if it's hard to stay positive, ask for help. Like, you're not supposed to do this alone. Okay? That's not the intention. Ask your fellow students, ask your roommate, ask your buddy, ask your teachers, ask ISC, they love this stuff, that's why they're here for you. Ask the international offices. This is a social experience. You're not supposed to do it alone, so don't try to. Alright, there's some culture shock preparation for you, but there is one more thing, those of you who are counting, that we don't understand about culture shock preparation, and that is, any guesses? Preparation, right, the whole phrase is wrong, basically. The mistake of many culture shock preparation programs is making you think that you can escape the effects of culture fatigue completely. You know, like, if we know what's coming, it can't hurt us, right? Wrong. This is a really dangerous mistake, because if you think that you are immune, you think that it won't be a problem for you, you won't be prepared for it, you won't recognize it when it happens, and you won't be able to manage it. So just take it from me that you're going to have some of those dark days, okay? When it seems like everything is against you, everything is too confusing, you want everyone to leave you alone, you just want to be home, that's fine. That's okay, and it's completely normal. Give it some time, remember the strategies that I told you about, and because there is so much more to talk about here, I want to announce that I'm going to be starting a Culture Shock Club. I'll probably change the name. Although Culture Fatigue Club doesn't really sound great either. We'll see. This is the first time I'm doing this. The idea is we'll meet maybe twice a month. It'll be very informal, quite different from the Czech Culture Club. You should go there first because you should learn about the culture here. This will be more informal in general. Come when you want to talk about the cultural experiences you're having. We'll speak together, we'll develop some strategies for getting over any difficulties that you're having. Make sure that you have the best experience possible, because it really does help to talk to other people, to find solutions, and to work together to make this a great experience. I don't have all the details yet, but keep an eye on the ISC Events Facebook page for the first meeting of this, and if you want information directly, feel free to contact me on any of these platforms, and I will absolutely keep you informed about the Culture Shock Club. Alright, I think you are as prepared as you can be. So it won't be easy, but I don't think you came here for easy. Just stay aware, stay balanced, come to the Culture Shock Club, and nothing will prevent you from having the best time of your life in the most beautiful city in the world. And I have to say, guys, I am so excited that you are here, that you have come to experience a different culture, a different country. This is one of the best things you can do in your life. and it's going to be amazing. So thank you for listening. Enjoy the adventure, and I'm going to give it back to the superstars at ISC.